Hi guys, it's Paula from PSE Creations. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. Today's video is a flip through of my very first faith-based Bible journal. Um, Faith-based, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure what I will title it, but it is faith-based. So this is my very first. It's actually, I believe, my largest journal too. I don't know if, I think I have. I have made a 4 signature one in the past, but this one is 4 signatures. And I also added a tassel. I made this cover probably about 2 years ago, and I just never used it. And then I finally said it was on my list for 2025 journals, so check another one off of my list. And yeah, I decided to use the cover that I had made. The cover is a cereal box, um, covered in fabric on the outside and fabric on the inside, and then sewn all the way around. With this beautiful fabric that I believe I got this actually at Walmart, this particular fabric. But it has obviously the cross and flowers, and it says hope, joy, blessed, faith. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, very nice. With a dangle. Did I mention that I made a dangle? I think I mentioned it. If I didn't, I made a dangle. I don't tend to make dangles, but I had added this on the cover again when I made it about 2 years ago, with the thought that I would make a dangle. So I went ahead and made a dangle. It's on a bull pin. It does come off. So, and I have some vintage lace on the spine covering the signatures where they were sewn in. And then the back is it's just the fabric. I didn't cover it with anything. I did add the metal book corners. And the closure is part of the signature. So I added the closure in between the fabric before I sewed all around on the inside. So the closure is not removable. And this is vintage lace as well for the closure. So actually, let me just see if I can give you some measurements really quick. Maybe. Oh, here it is. I was looking for my little ruler. Excuse me. So it measures a little over 6 by 9. It's probably a little over 9. And the spine is 2 3/4 inches. And like I said, the dangle with beautiful vintage and non-vintage fabrics. I have pearl beads here. I have some eyelet vintage trim, just some regular checkered or gingham, some more vintage lace. I don't know where I got this one from, but the lace had these little pearls and beads and stuff, so I thought it went perfect with the colors. So again, it is removable, so that if you wanted your journal to lay flatter, it would. And as I mentioned, 4 signatures. One other thing to point out, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the flip through. Hopefully this won't be long, but you know, I always say that and then they turn out to be super long. But I do have little charms here as well on the lace. So we have a little heart key. And then here we have, this was just an old piece of jewelry that I had in my craft jewelry stash, and it was a cross made out of some kind of metal. So I went ahead and added that, and it has a little purple bead at the bottom of it. I think those are, oh no, I have one more charm. Sorry. And another little key. Another little key. Okay. I did, like I said, 4 signatures. I did round the corners. As you can see, it is laying pretty flat. And I did round the corners of all the pages. There's a lot of scripture verses in here. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm not going to go through everything. I will have pictures. This will be posted on my website. It's actually already there. And it will also be on my Whatnot Marketplace if anyone's interested. I will leave a link to both of those in my description below. So let's go through it. So scrapbook paper is the start. So I added a double-sided scrapbook paper at the beginning of each of my signatures. And rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, but constant in prayer. Be constant in prayer, sorry. Romans 12:11, 12. I'm not going to read all of them, but we have some coffee dye paper. I used some packing paper. These were little today's prayers, little cards that I believe you can get them at the Dollar Tree. I picked these up. They were just little prayer cards. So I just used the front part that said today's prayer, and I made it into a little pocket. And I have this little cards, enjoy today. And then this postcard that is vintage. It's a vintage postcard, but it's a picture postcard, like an art piece of a church. So there will be a lot of postcards in here, and they're all churches from around the world. I can't remember where this one was from. I think this is Germany. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is Germany. We have ledger paper, vintage ledger paper. It has not been written. I also have stickers that have verses. Let all that you do be done in love. I have some adult coloring pages. This one was an angel. We have our vintage dictionary page. Some vintage lace trim that's sewn on there as well. Coffee dyed paper. Just some regular lined paper. This was from a floral book. Just a page cut out and a little paper tab here. And on this here side, I made a pocket. Let all that be done in love. It kind of goes. And then this was a little piece from a postcard that was very damaged. So I just cut that little piece off. I added a little stamp of a little, um, I'm having trouble with words today. um, verse. And it's just an index card. So I thought it was very, very beautiful and fit perfectly there. We have a music sheet, and on here I have one of my little paper clusters side pockets. Again, another little index card with some vintage trim. A dragonfly, enjoy the little things. And it's a little lace right there, so it's a little journaling card. Here in the middle, I did a napkin. I'm sorry, not a napkin. This is an envelope, and I made 2 pockets out of this envelope. So this is the middle of the first signature, and I decoupaged some napkins here and some paper in here. And in these pockets, we have 2 of the prayer cards that, again, these came from the Dollar Tree. So these are very, very cute. They fit perfectly in here. We have to fix that, but we'll get back to that. And then I did do some stamping right here. So you can put anything, and then here's another verse. So lots of verses, different verses. Some may be repeated in the different signatures, but here's some vintage crocheted trim that's on the edge of this one right here. And then here's obviously the key that we showed at the beginning. Here's another page from that. Oh, it's the other side of that page from the floral book. This is just a little fabric cluster, and I added this sticker here. Another index card that's been decorated. My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. So again, just a little decorated index card. Here's just a little paper flip. It's on with washi tape, so you can remove it if you'd like. Here's one of my junk mailer pockets. and a large journaling card. I used a lot of stamps. I used a lot of stickers. I used a lot of things to decorate. All right. This is, again, the, oh, you know what? This was packing paper. Was this packing paper, or was this actually like a paper bag, like the grocery? I think this was the grocery paper bag. So I added the stamp that says praise here. And here I thought you can add where you're giving thanks, you're giving praise to something. So a lot of writing room here. I just thought that that was nice. Here's just a little bit of vellum with a little sticker. Be his wounds. I'm sorry, by his wounds we are healed. Isaiah 53:5. So I thought it was very, very nice. And here's the end of the first signature. And on this side, I did make a pocket on the cardstock. And this is just beautiful. Look at this. Beautiful. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Pass 'em. Psalm 91:11. Pass 'em. The second signature, very similar. So we're just going to go through it pretty quickly, guys. Cardstock, and then this one I did add the pocket right here in the front. Just a little decor cluster with a sticker here. This is a journaling card punched out. This was actually a card, and I just cut half of it and like a greeting card and punched the holes. We have paper tabs there. Lots of writing room to write, add pictures, add things that are happening at church gatherings. Here is a glassine bag, and I added a little bit of washi tape there on the side, and then I added a pocket on the top, but I cut it so that it had like a little bit of design. And like I said, I did have pictures of postcards, of churches. So this is St. Paul's Cathedral in London. So most of these are vintage, and obviously many of them are not written on. And then this is another prayer card. So all the prayer cards are different, so it should not be the same prayer. And obviously, if you're a creator yourself, you can take that prayer card and create something different for it. This I just decoupaged on this dictionary page. I decoupaged a little piece of the napkin. I just love the hummingbird with the flowers and the butterfly here. Over here is one of my pockets, my junk mailer pockets. This is the uptuck one. So here's a journaling card that I made out of recycled food container. I had so much fun, I have to say, with this. So this is a little stamp, right? And then I just took my color pencils and colored in the little ladybug. I've been finding a lot of peace and joy in stamping and then using my color pencils. This is a National Geographic's map. We have paper doily. Here's another one of those beautiful pages from the floral book. This is the middle of the signature, of the second signature. Like I said, many, many spots to write and add things. Here's another piece of that beautiful vintage crocheted trim. The other side of the bag, I just added a little cluster here with a little paper flower. And here we have another beautiful postcard of the inside of a church. Let's see if we can see where this one's from. King's College Chapel in Cambridge, the west end of the chapel. So Cambridge, Great Britain. Oh, England, sorry. That's just beautiful. I can only imagine how gorgeous it is in there with those stained glass windows. Just gorgeous. Oh, I think there's something else in here. Ah, this is one of those little calling cards, John G. Slater. So this is a vintage card. I did back it with some paper because the back was really damaged, because it must have been in a scrapbook at some point in time. So the back was really damaged. So I did cover it with coffee dyed paper or some kind of dyed paper. And then this is just little reproduction notes with flowers on it. Here's another one of my clusters, but this one is not a pocket. I decided just to leave it as is, just to add a little bit of contrast to the page. And then I added beautiful butterflies. His mercy rescues me. And a sticker obviously that says His mercy rescues me. So I love that. Now this is a little, sorry for the reach. If you wanted to, I did leave it so that you could, a little tuck. So you could add something, maybe you got a note from someone at church, or you wanted to write a little prayer down for someone, or someone's name that you're praying for. You can add that right there. Coffee filter pockets. I love doing that, as you know. So you're going to have two sides, two pockets. And I do have a little paper clip just holding they're so small. Just holding the postcards from both sides. So again, here's another postcard that's a church. This one is Florence Cathedral and Steeple. So this is Florence, Italy. And on the other side, we have, this is more of a illustrated one, but the colors, it's beautiful. This is France, I believe. That's the French flag. Yeah, it's in French though. Oh my gosh, everything's in French. Okay, I thought maybe I was going to be able to make it out, but I can't. Sorry. Google Translate. I can't make out the name of the cathedral, or what they're showing there, that the church. Maybe it's not. So this sticker here says, "Getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do." Proverbs 4:7. This is a pocket, and then the end of the second signature. And this was just an old. It is a vintage envelope from 1942. Mrs. M. Kelly. This was sent to Mrs. M. Kelly in Spokane, Washington. I love envelopes like this. This is original. It is written on with pencil. Yeah. So, and just on the inside, I just added a little piece of coffee dyed paper with a little, "With God, all things are possible," Matt 1926. And that's in there so that you can write something or do what you would like with it. All right, third signature. Okay, and each signature is just so you can see, does have something on the outside. I did add a little piece of paper with the verse on the outside of each of the signature covers. So this one I did do a pocket on the first inside as well. This is just some paper, cardstock that's been punched on the corners just as journaling card. And this is another one of those beautiful notepad papers with the verse on the top. This is from one of those prayer cards, and what I did is I just cut out the circular part. I just cut it out into a shape and just glued it onto this page here. So, your faithful love is priceless. God, humanity finds refuge in the shadows of your wings. Psalm 36:7. So I thought using those little prayer cards from the Dollar Tree different ways is what I did in here. So this is just a napkin that I decoupaged on here, and then I just wrote "Believe," and I distressed and stamped a butterfly. No, I didn't stamp the butterfly. I think the butterfly was part of it. But you can write here if you wanted to. This is the flip from the envelope that's in the signature. So I did put another envelope in this signature, but this the orientation of this envelope was sideways versus up and down like the first signature. So this is a little flap, so I just decorated it with some butterflies stamps and then some vintage paper and sewed around, and then I added lace on this side, so just to give it a little bit of decorated aesthetic. And then here is a vintage ledger paper, some avocado dyed paper. Here's another piece of our paper bag. And here I just added a little cardstock and added a little corner tuck. Here's a seine and a stamp. And then here is another. This is Palos Verdes, California. Wafers Chapel. So this is another vintage postcard. Wafers Chapel, Ranchos Palos Verdes, California. And then on this side, just two little 3 crosses. It's a stamp. An adult coloring page in this signature. And this one was angels as well. And this is another page from that floral book. And on here, I did add a little bag. And what I did was I flipped the bag up twice. So it's 2 pockets. You have one pocket, which is the actual bag itself. And then, which is right here. And just, these are just scrap papers that I added there so that you can decorate with. This is like the handmade paper that comes in those Dollar Tree packs. And this one is another pocket right there. So it's a double pocket. And then I just added a stamp that says amazing. Here's some of that crocheted lace trim again. And here's our metal cross. One of my junk mailer pockets, the side loading ones. So this is, I just stamped a bunch of script right there. Added this beautiful sticker. I wanted to add a little bit of color, so that's why I picked this one. But the Lord is faithful. And then little butterflies right there, and it's sewn all the way around. And then here I just collaged a little bit with some packing paper. I added some stamps, a verse, and then this is a page of the dictionary page. I thought this was cool because I didn't do this on purpose, but it shows the word Catholic from the dictionary page. It just so happened that it was a scrap of paper that I had. I didn't go looking for it. It was a scrap of paper, and I went and grabbed it, and that's what it was. And I think it was fitting for this journal. Here's another little, I think this was from like a book, like a notebook that I got from the Dollar Tree. It was like spiral bound, and it had the orientation of the pages. They were longer, like, you know, instead of being up and down, they were side to side. And so that's where this came from, I believe. Here is the other side of that book, floral book. And on this, I made a little pocket. So let me show you, using a coffee filter and a book page. And I did add a little verse there. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Psalm 23:4. And it's just a little pocket that you can add something to. So it is sewn all the way around. And then in the back, I just added a little sticker. Listen to the good advice if you want to live well. Proverbs 19:31. So you can add something in there if you'd like. And it has an itty bitty paper clip. Copy dyed paper. So this was the other, I thought I'd decorate the other side of the adult coloring page on this one. And what I did was I had these little strips of cardstock from, this is the cardstock that I use for the covers of the first signatures of the first page of each signature. And I had these cutoffs, and I thought, let's make little they're not, I don't know if I want to call them pockets. They're little tucks. And then, so each one is a little tuck. So this one, pouring out praise, it's just a circular piece of paper. This is a very small tag. Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's smaller ones. And I just added a little bit of embroidery thread. I was trying to think what the name was. I had it in the dangle. So again, just right here. And this is another, just a little circular, Let Your Light Shine, Matte 516. So I just thought that these were so cute. And you can add little somethings to the back of these. Here's our paper bag again. So pouring out praise. Again, a little area for you to write whatever you'd like. You are my strength. And then a sticker here. And this is another prayer card. So a lot of coffee dyed, avocado dyed paper, vintage ledger paper. Here's the other side of the envelope. I added a little bit of trim here and a verse there, stamp. And then on the inside, here's another vintage postcard. This is Cathedral de Strasbourg. I believe this is Europe as well. And then this is one of those envelopes. Now this one doesn't have anything in it. Maybe I'll put a piece of paper in it so that you can write something as well. So this one's from 1933, Portland, Oregon. Federal Land Bank, Spokane, Washington. And it just gets tucked right in there. And on this side, I decoupaged a napkin on the envelope. A little paper cluster here with the paper flower. And this is the end of the third signature. And we have another one of these notepads. Now this one is different. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 61. So, and it's, you can't see it, but it's a very faint image in the background. And then this is just, I had this in one of the other signatures as well. It's just a reproduction little note. You can take notes on each of these, and it's perforated here, so you can just remove them. You can maybe just, if you wanted to, just cut this out and put that right here and add something. And the last signature. We're almost done, guys. Okay, 28 minutes, not horrible. All right, so the last signature, these were all cardstocks that had some kind of design. So I did try to keep the design in some aspect of it. So that's where you'll see, like with this, I didn't have a pocket over here because the design, oh, I just realized, yeah, the design was there and I didn't want to cover it. So this is a map, a vintage map sheet, the National Geographics. I stamped the word praise on some, what is this called? Muslin. And then I frayed the edges, and then I just, so you can add some praise there. Here's more writing spot with lined paper. This is vintage wrapping paper. Very beautiful floral vintage wrapping paper. A glassine bag with a little verse right here on a coffee dyed piece of paper. And in here you have one of the prayer cards that are from the Dollar Tree. You have He Lives, just a piece of paper that's been stamped. Maybe you can use it as a booklet or something. And then you also have some stickers that all have different verses or sayings on it. And again, like I did mention throughout the whole book, and hopefully you were able to see, even though I didn't point them all out, there are verses on many of the pages as well. Here's one of my junk mailer pockets. And on this one, I just added this beautiful bookmark that I received from someone many years ago in Happy Mail. And, oh, in 2020, it looks like Jamie Lynn 2020. So this, it looks like she drew all this. It was like watercolors. So I thought this was gorgeous, and I feel like it went really well right here. And then this is one of those notepads that have the very faint image with the verse on the top. I just liked how that looked rather than making a tag. You don't always have to make tags to put in your pockets. I thought this fit very well in here together. So this is just decorated a little bit. I just added the word rejoice here, stamped on a piece of paper. This one is a pocket on this music sheet with another postcard. Look at that car. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see the cars. Cathedral Church of Christ, Lagos, Nigeria. This is from Nigeria. This church, sorry. Paper doily, and here's the middle of the signature, which is one of the pages from the floral book. And I recently had gotten, I don't know if you saw the haul, these pieces of, I don't know what they were, but they were clear pieces of sheets, and I made pockets. So long story short, I made clear pockets. So that's how I'm going to probably use them. So these are just little index cards that I've decorated and added a tab. This one has a paper tab on it, and I thought it was perfect. It fits in the clear pocket so you can see the design of the little journaling card. And this one has a fabric tag. Music sheets, and here's our last little charm on our vintage crocheted lace. Here's another one of my little coffee filter pockets that I decorated. So this one I added that verse and just stamped a bunch of butterflies. So because it's directional, right? I made sure that the butterflies went in the correct direction based on folding this up. This is just a page in the inside, and it's a little pocket that you can add something to. And it also just adds a little bit of decoration to the page. Removable decoration. How's that? Okay, and on this side of the page, sorry, I did decoupage a napkin. So let's fit this back. All right. Here I just added a little bit of washi tape. So this is removable, but just a little piece of scrap paper. I stamped the word joy on it. It's coffee dyed scrap paper, or yeah. And it's just a little piece where you can write on, and just a little bit of washi tape there as well. It is a pocket. And in here, oh, okay, we have another church postcard. Yeah, I can't make that out. I think maybe Germany, but I really can't make out. Oof. There you go. If you can see, I can't. I cannot make it out. Sorry. And then over here, I just had this little cutout that's a little pocket, or I made it into a little pocket. He lives. P.S. I still wait for you. I just thought it was the cutest little thing. But I added some stickers, faith-based stickers, and then here's another calling card. So like I said, I may go back and add coffee dyed or add paper to the back of this, but I think earlier I mentioned that I had added paper to one of the other little cards, and you can see they were in scrapbooks. So this is how I received them. I didn't have them in scrapbooks, so forget me not. Forget me not, I only ask the simple boon of thee. Really? And let it be an easy task sometimes to think of me. Adorable, right? So here is our vintage wrapping paper, and we are done, guys. This is the last page here. I did add a little pocket here, and here's another prayer card. So this is 4 signatures, very large. I gave you the dimensions, 2 3/4 inch spine, has a dangle. It has probably over 140 pages front and back. It's probably more like 160 front and back, if I remember correctly. The description is all, and pictures are all on my website. So if you're interested in it, it's available. And I hope that I'm able to find a beautiful home for her because she's lovely. All right, guys, thanks so much. 35 minutes, not bad. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Please leave any comments down below if there's anything specific that you would like me to share or show in future videos. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.